Midnight light on a dim-lit screen, clicking through stories you wouldn't believe. Cold case trails and courtroom scenes, whispers from the grave and media dreams. Truth is stranger, hearts beat faster in the shadows of a news disaster. Scrolling deep where secrets hide, you found the stories time won't deny. Headstones and headlines, the tales collide. Justice and mystery, side by side. From backwoods clubs to breaking news lines, you shine a light where the silence lies. Oh, headstones and headlines, you dig where the truth won't die. Small town rumors and urban fear, a voice for the lost who can't speak here. Through every name, through every case, you hold the truth in a steady place. Cameras roll but justice lingers, truth unravels through careful fingers. You tell the story, speak their names in a world that's quick to look away. Headstones and headlines, the tales collide. Justice and mystery, side by side. From backwoods crimes to great night trials, you trace the echoes through every mile. Oh, headstones and headlines, you dig where the truth won't die. Some run from the dark, you walk right in with a question and a camera lens. It's not just a crime, it's the lives they led. The voice is still talking from the books unread. Headstones and headlines, the veil is thin. Truth gets louder when you begin. With every view, with every line, you bring the forgotten back to life. Oh, headstones and headlines, you dig where the truth won't die. Yeah, headstones and headlines, you tell the stories that time can't hide.
Hey everyone, happy Monday. Man, it is so beautiful here in the Northeast. It was about 84 degrees when I left work today. And I kept saying it today, like, I can't believe we are in October and it's 84 degrees outside. It's supposed to get cooler on Wednesday. We're supposed to be in the high 60s, but it's just craziness here. So thanks for being here. And I saw Nanny had said good day. It was a pretty good day. I'm pretty tired though. This morning was a little bit challenging. My morning class was so hyper, and they're not usually like that. And then my afternoon class was calm like they usually are. So it wasn't a bad day at all. It's just hard to get up in the morning, especially now that it's dark out when I wake up. So I am eager to get to spring when the days get longer again. But thanks for being here, Nanny. Ocean Tide, thanks for being here. Road Rash, hope you're well. I haven't seen you in a little bit. Yeah, thanks for being here. Sinner. Man, Sinner can't catch a break from the bee. I mean, I was on my way home listening, and then it just went goodbye. And I thought it was my internet, and nope. she just can't have people reviewing her. And she calls out everyone. She calls me the queen of striking. I think you hold that crown, B. Just saying. But that was a bummer. But it kind of shows that whatever Sinner was saying, I only caught like the last 10 minutes. The last 10 minutes. But whatever he had said prior, she didn't like. And how interesting, this is the only drama I'm going to say today. How interesting, on her live last night, she said, I'm not going to private this. This is staying up. Da, 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 da. Well, what do you know? It was privated. So I saw that coming. I should have downloaded it when I had the chance, but I didn't. So, oh well. I have, the hour or so that I screen recorded. So I'll be transforming that and then posting that on my second channel, because clearly B doesn't want people to see it. So I'm going to share it so that way people can't. Because if you hide something, usually it's because you don't want people to hear what you're saying. I will say it was pretty vile yesterday. But anyways, moving on. Oh, it's a full moon tomorrow. No wonder. It felt like a full moon last week. It was just bonkers last week. Ocean Tide said, I love the fall, but don't like the shorter days. Same. It was a weak move for sure. Taxes? I'm not sure what you mean about taxes. But since the deposition is apparently public record, I reached out and requested a copy. So let's see how public it actually is, because the courthouse told me that it wasn't public record because it wasn't filed within the court. So we'll see how that goes. So we are here today to talk about subway surfing, which I have only heard about recently because it's a TikTok trend. And so I'm like, this is interesting. And the reason it came about is because yesterday I had seen a story where 2 young girls were found dead on top of a subway train. And it turns out they had been subway surfing. It's, as I was doing, looking into this for this live, this goes back since the 1930s, probably even earlier than that. So many have died from it. Many have been arrested. Many have been injured. And it actually was quite interesting to me. I would never do it because 1, I don't like heights. 2, I don't like going really fast on top of something. And 3, I don't want to die. I don't want to risk dying, so I wouldn't do it. But when I heard of it, I thought of the movie Divergent. If anyone has seen that movie Divergent, where they do things like that. And it just reminds me of that. So this live is going to be a little less organized than I usually am, because there's just so much, and it was hard for me to kind of put things together in a smooth order. So we're going to start with the story of the 2 girls that were found dead yesterday, and then we'll kind of go from there. I found an article from the New York Times from, when was this from? December 2024, so about 2 years ago. Well, year ago. And kind of talking about subway surfing, and then we'll just kind of see where it takes us. Give me 1 second. Okay. Oh, and I didn't even share what I wanted to share yet. Okay, give me 1 second here. I am very disorganized today. As you can tell, I am very disorganized today. All right, now we got it. Oops, now what did I do? Oh my gosh. There we go. Okay, so this took place in New York City, and my internet, of course, is being wonky. Hopefully it'll stay, but if for whatever reason my internet craps out, I will be back because it's showing I only have one little bar on StreamYard.
And a heartbreaking discovery early this morning at the Marcy Avenue subway station. Police say 2 young girls were found dead on top of a train car. And investigators believe this is another case of deadly subway surfing. News 4's Axel Turcios is in Williamsburg with the latest.
Horrible and sad.
This woman says it's shocking to hear 2 more lives have been lost to subway surfing. You have seen kids doing this before?
Yes, a couple of years back, we saw 2 kids right here in this station.
Subway surfing is a dangerous stunt in which people attempt to surf or lie down on top of moving subway cars.
I could see laying down, and I'm curious, like, this is one thing I didn't think of before, but I'm going to look up what is the average speed of a subway car. Okay. It's approximately 17 miles per hour in New York City to 33 miles per hour in Washington, D.C. So, I mean, it's not super fast, but it is pretty fast for, standing.
Been doing it for years, and they continue doing it. They see what's going on, and they still do it, so it's just not.
This time, tragedy striking the Marcy Avenue and Broadway subway station in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. The NYPD saying 2 young teenagers, one 13-year-old and another one between the ages 13 to 18, were found.
13-year-old. And then I'm guessing they didn't know who the other girl was, if they're saying between 13 and 18. But 13 years old.
Unconscious on the roof of the Brooklyn-bound J train just after 3 this morning. Police believe they were subway surfing. Paramedics attempting to save the young women's lives, but pronouncing them dead at the scene.
And it makes me wonder, too, they weren't found until after 3 in the morning. How long had they been on top of that train before anyone noticed they were there?
Like, what's going on? Why are they doing this?
Milvia Rodriguez says she's seen this type of stunt firsthand.
One was 12 and the other one was 14, and they were going that way. And they were on top, standing.
Early Saturday, officers were seen taking the 2 bodies in plastic bags. An agent was carrying a skateboard and a small bag out of the station. A cop was also seen talking to 2 teenage boys at the scene. Later, the officer driving them away in a patrol car.
We live in the times like the TikTok and that kind of stuff is like providing really, really bad influence.
The deadly trend has become popular on social media.
The NYPD is telling us that so far in 2025, at least 128 people have been arrested for subway surfing. They're also telling us that with this new incident, 5 people have died because of subway surfing. In Williamsburg, I'm Axel Turcios, News 4 New York.
Okay, and going with that, actually, we're going to go here next. So this is from the Daily Mail. And this was from April 2025. And the title was "The Deadly, quote, game thrill seekers can't stop playing even though they keep on dying." And Evil Queen, had said, where did it go? Hey, Gerda, how are you? Adrenaline junkies, all the things I did as a kid that wasn't on the list. Yeah, curious. I had heard of train surfing, which I guess is the same as subway surfing. It's just obviously a subway versus a train, but I hadn't really heard of it. Apparently it's a thing in New York. Hey, Connie, aka Sister Karen, thanks for being here. So this again was from April 2025. Authorities are begging young New Yorkers to stop participating in a dangerous, quote, sport that has taken the lives of 13. Many videos of mainly young teens climbing onto the tops of subway cars and surfing them as they speed through above-ground stations have circulated social media over the last few years. But so has the reports of death, leaving families torn apart and authorities begging borough residents to quit the chaos. Last week, a 30-year-old man lost his life while subway surfing in the Bronx around 3:15 a.m. The unidentified man fell between train cars on a northbound 1 train near the 238th Street station in Kingsbridge. It took 2 hours to remove his body from the tracks. The main victims, however, are typically youths in their early teens who scurry on top of the cars with their friends after school for a dangerous joyride. These are 12, 13, and 14-year-olds doing this, an MTA spokesperson told dailymail.com. Nothing good comes of it. The MTA is currently not doing interviews about subway surfing, and a spokesperson told dailymail.com that these social media videos are only encouraging people to participate in this risky trend. So here you have this person is sitting, and then you have 2 people here just standing on top of the train. Oh, let's see, view gallery. I think I have to zoom out a little bit. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this says one of the teenage boys who died from riding atop subway cars was Zachary Nazario in February 2023. He was 15 years old when his head hit a steel beam and he was thrown off the train and ran over by a carriage, killing him. Now, his mother, Norma Nazario, has paired up with the MTA, City Hall, and Governor Kathy Hochul to raise awareness about the dangers of the so-called sport and to encourage people to stop. In July 2024, Anthony Bagwadine, 15, died after hopping on top of a Queens train. He was found with a severe head injury at the elevated tracks at Beach 90th Street Station in Rockaway. In January 2024, Alam Reyes, 14, fell off a Coney Island-bound F train in Brooklyn and died at the scene. His half-brother said he ditched school that day and went subway surfing with a friend. Hey, Angie. Oh, geez. New York medical examiners remove body of tween killed after subway surfing. Yeah, we're not going to watch that. Police on the tracks after an incident. 13 have died during the dangerous act and more than 415 have been arrested since January 1st, 2023. And I would assume that that number has gone up since then. Oh, and that was it. Okay. Okay, so here it says subway surfing in New York City, and this is between January 1st, 2023 and April 15th, 2025. So in 2023, there were, I would say, about 135 arrests. In 2024, 229 arrests. And as of April, there were 52 arrests in 2025. That clearly has probably gone up. And then fatalities in 2023, there were 5. 2024, 6. And as of April 2025, there had been 2. That number obviously has gone up. Hey, Marie. Hey, lunatic. More than 415 people have been arrested for subway surfing between January 1st, 2023 and April 15th, 2025. 13 have died during the same period. The NYPD apprehended 229 citizens last year, with 53 of those happening before April 15th, 2024. In the same spring time frame, 2 died. Compared to this year, the number of arrests and fatalities puts 2025 on the same track as the year before, with 52 arrests and 2 fatalities so far. Overall, in 2024, there were 6 deaths. One of the teenage boys who died from riding atop subway cars was Zachary Nazario in February 2023. He was riding on top of a train as it soared around the Williamsburg Bridge between Brooklyn and Manhattan when his head hit a steel beam, knocking him off the train and leaving his body laying across live track lines. He was 15. Okay, I kind of read that. They were in the... Now his mother, Norma Nazario, has teamed up with the MTA, City Hall, and Governor Kathy Hochul to raise awareness about the dangers of the so-called sport and to encourage people to stop. Norma sat down with Mayor Eric Adams last June to pay tribute to her son, who wanted to be a Marine and was someone who loved Frank Sinatra. Oh, and there's his mom. She remembered the excruciating hours she waited for her son to text her back. Around 10 p.m., she texted Zachary to ask where he was. Moments later, NYPD officers knocked on her door and her heart went into her throat. I couldn't even speak. Adams admitted to Norma that he was really shocked by how popular the trend was on social media. It's just really harmful to our children. Norma said young New Yorkers needed to stop worrying about followers and begin thinking about how this could hurt families forever. Family and friends are going to be hurt forever, especially your mom, Norma said. DailyMail.com has contacted Norma for further comment. All right, we talked about those 2. Anthony Bagwandine, 15, died riding on top of a subway in Queens. He suffered a severe head injury near Beach 90th Street Station in Rockaway in July 2024. Just a month before that, an unidentified 13-year-old boy was killed while subway surfing in the Bronx. He lost his life after riding on top of a northbound number 6 train at the Middletown Road Station in Pelham Bay, the NYPD reported. The deceased child suffered a head trauma, among other injuries. In January 2024, Alam Reyes, 14, fell off a Coney Island-bound F train in Brooklyn and died at the scene. His heartbroken half-brother later revealed that the teenager followed multiple accounts that posted pictures and videos of subway surfing around the city. All of these deaths prompted the local and state government, alongside the MTA, to launch the Stay Inside, Stay Alive campaign, which advocates against subway surfing in September 2023. The NYPD deployed more officers to outside stations, especially along the 7 line, which has the highest number of incidents in the New York City transit system, according to the MTA. Teachers were also instructed to warn students about the dangers, and merchandise was distributed to students with the new motto. Advertisements appeared in stations and on trains, as well as on social media, on the backs of some Metro cards. The organization and the government entities also asked TikTok and Google, among others, to limit visibility on subway surfing videos. And I actually did go on TikTok last night after I saw this story about these two young girls to see if there were videos about subway surfing. There were, but the majority of videos that I saw on TikTok were creators talking about the story of the two girls who had passed. I didn't see a whole lot of videos of people actually subway surfing. Hey, Pooks, how's it going? Subway surfing in New York City can be traced back to 1938 when Donald Munoz, 11, and William Layden, 12, fell off the top of a Brooklyn train after it clipped an overpass, the New York Times reported. They both fractured their skulls after hitting the tracks, killing Munoz and knocking Layden unconscious. It became popularized in the 1980s, and by 1996, then Mayor Rudy Giuliani had declared there was no way that you can protect a child who decides to surf on the top of a subway car. The deadly trend has now repopularized in the last few years. State Senator Leroy Comrie even suggested greasing the tops of subway cars to prevent youngsters from even getting up there. The NYPD has deployed drones that follow subway surfers, but the surveillance doesn't deter the rebellious youth who wave and flip off the... Wait, that doesn't make sense. The NYPD has deployed drones that follow subway surfers, but the surveillance doesn't deter the rebellious youth who wave and flip off the machine. Okay, so they're giving them the bird. An officer told the New York Times. Repeat offenders are common in the system, and considering most youths won't cop charges even if arrested, there's little deterrent for them to stop. Michael, 20, whose last name was withheld, told the New York Times the only way he thinks kids will stop the dangerous thrill-seeking behavior is to show the dead bodies. I kind of agree. Forget the announcements. They need to start showing the dead bodies of these kids and nail it into their brains that they shouldn't do anything like this for TikTok clout. But for now, it seems, some kids will never learn. And, you know, it seems like it's for TikTok clout or, you know, social media clout. But I mean, what is it worth if you're not alive? It makes no sense. Angie, no, it's not a new thing. And I did find, because I was looking up those two kids who had in the 1930s, what was their name? Donald and William. So I Googled them because I'm like, I wonder about these two kids. And I actually found a clip, a newspaper clipping. It was a Virginia newspaper, but I was able to clip. It was a tiny, tiny little, let's see, where is it? I uploaded it. Here it is. So this was the little blurb of the newspaper article. So prank turns out one-way ride. And back in the day, they didn't sugarcoat things. Like, they said exactly what happened, what the injuries were. There was no, I guess, you know, censorship. So it says New York, June 18th, and this was in 1938. It was a one-way ride that two Brooklyn boys took on top of a speeding subway train. The boys, Donald Munoz, 11, and William Layden, 12, dropped to the top of the train from a viaduct on the outskirts of the city. They clung to the swaying car for 2 stations, and then the train dipped underground. The tunnel was too low to clear them, and the boys, panic-stricken but helpless, were knocked to the roadbed. Donald died in a hospital. Physicians said William, his skull fractured, had little chance to live. So that was just a little blurb in a Virginia newspaper that I was able to find. I couldn't find much else about these two boys. but I was able to find that. Hey, Smokin', how are you? Oh, really, Yaya? You had people doing it when you were a kid? I'm just too much of a coward. There's no way I would do it. Yeah, it is terrifying. And I do have a video. I don't know which one in what order, but it was a video, it was a TikTok of someone videoing them subway surfing, and I was getting like motion sickness. I was like, no, nope, can't do it. So this next clip is again about these two young girls who were found dead atop a subway train. I think it was Saturday.
MTA released a statement sharing their condolences for the grieving families of the two teenage girls found dead at the Marcy Avenue subway station. The gruesome discovery was made about 3 o'clock this morning. Eyewitness News reporter Crystal Cranmore has the story.
We're not going to stop until we prevent all of these subway surfers from taking place.
That was Mayor Adams today, vowing to stop the dangerous trend after officials say transit workers discovered two dead teenagers on top of a subway
Oh my
car,
gosh.
victims of apparent subway surfing.
It's absolutely horrible. Yesterday on the train, I heard an announcement saying, like, this is a problem, it's unsafe.
It happened at the Marcy Avenue stop around 3 o'clock this morning. A skateboard and a purse appeared to be among the belongings of the girls, one of whom just 13 years old. The investigation disrupted J-Train service for hours as authorities interviewed potential eyewitnesses.
Yes, I know people who do this. One of my friends, his closest friend died.
For 12-year-old Chloe, this hits close to home.
And I know another friend, and I tell her to stop all the time, but she doesn't stop.
But Chloe says she won't stop trying to protect her classmates.
They can fall on the tracks anytime, and it's really dangerous. It just hurts me. It just hurts me. Seeing them subway surf, risking their lives for nothing.
The city.
And I agree. I mean, for what? I mean, yeah, it's an adrenaline fix, but
He has stepped up its efforts to crack down on the dangerous trend using drones.
What? That kid was jumping. Hold on. I need to back up. That is, oh my gosh, I cannot. This kid was jumping on the top of a subway train.
Stepped up its efforts to crack down on the dangerous trend using drones. Police deploy the technology and field response teams to subway lines with the highest rates of subway surfing.
That is
complaints.
insanity.
Say at least 52 rescues have been made this year.
It's horrific. I don't know whether they're seeing it on movies. I don't know where it's coming from. It sounds like an adrenaline junkie.
According to the NYPD, there were 3 subway surfing deaths in 2024, and there were 3 between January 1st and August 31st of this year.
Obviously, more needs to be done.
So there were there were 3 deaths, I would assume, up until these 2 young girls.
New York City Transit President Demetrius Critchlow released a statement saying in part that parents, teachers, and friends all play a role in stopping this trend by spreading the message that riding on top of subway cars is not surfing, it's suicide. In Williamsburg, Brooklyn, Crystal Cranmore, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Craziness. Okay, so I went to TikTok, and this is interesting. I didn't get this on my phone yesterday. So I went to TikTok because there is a TikTok I wanted to, I think it was TikTok. There was a woman who actually, these 2 kids were crawling up on top of the subway car, and she opened the door and she started screaming at them to get down. But I just opened it and it says this: your safety matters. So I searched subway surfing. Some online challenges can be dangerous, disturbing, or even fabricated. Learn how to recognize harmful challenges so you can protect your health and well-being. And then it says view resources. And it says assess challenges and warnings. At TikTok, we work to help everyone in our community make informed decisions about how they interact with online challenges. Learn about how to assess challenges and warnings through the 4-step process. Stop, think, decide, and act below. You can also find support on our online challenges page. I have never seen this before on TikTok, so clearly I haven't looked up something that was dangerous. So stop. If you see something worrying or distressing, such as a potential harmful challenge or hoax, stop and take a moment to think about what you've seen. And then they have questions. When you see a challenge, think to yourself, could something have gone wrong? Does the person doing the challenge have special skills? If you try it, are you confident you won't hurt yourself or others around you? If you're unsure about something you've seen, speak to a friend, family member, a trusted adult, or other trusted sources. Decide. You have control over what you decide to do. If a challenge is risky or harmful, or you're not sure if it is, don't do it. It's not worth putting yourself or others at risk. Act. We want TikTok to be a caring and kind community environment where we look out for each other. So if you see a challenge or hoax that you think is potentially harmful, don't share it with others or like it. Instead, report it to us. So is it not going to give me? It's not going to let me. I can't even search. Oh, okay. So here's the, oh, no. This is so weird. It's not going to let me look up any videos. Huh. Go figure. So maybe it wasn't TikTok. Maybe I was somewhere else where I looked it up. No, it had to be TikTok. But it's not letting me look it up now. That's weird. That's so weird. It won't let me do anything. Oh, here, online challenge. Okay, well, that's not what I wanted. How strange. All right, well, I guess we're not going to go there. I wanted to show that one thing, but it wouldn't let me. So this next clip is actually from about a week ago, before these two girls were found deceased. And this woman just happened to be on her terrace and ended up videotaping subway surfers.
Caught on camera train surfing in Bushwick. One Flatbush woman says that she captured it all on accident. And News 12's Karina Gary is at the Chauncey Avenue station with that exclusive video.
Not one, not two, but at least 4 people seen riding on top of the Chauncey Street J train.
My video doesn't. That one person looked like they were running. Yeah, they're running on top of the train.
But at least 4 people seen riding on top of the Chauncey Street J train.
No way.
My video doesn't even do its justice. There was like at least 15 kids on that train.
It was just past 6 p.m. when Deja Alcius was enjoying a beautiful day in her Bushwick neighborhood.
I was just doing my daily meditation and just having time to myself.
Like many of us do, she decided to capture the beautiful day on her phone, but she was surprised to find what she had recorded.
The video shows multiple people riding on top of the train. We slowed the video down so you can get a better look. You see as the first person goes by, then 2 people next to one another, and behind them another person who appears to be crouching.
I know that the J train is very common because it's on top, it's outside.
Other residents I spoke with say subway surfing has become a big problem on this particular line.
I saw some.
And I wonder why. I guess because it's outside, there's not really anything above it. So they just figure, because it's open space. I would be worried on those elevated train tracks. I mean, you may not just fall on the tracks. You may fall to your death. No way. Hey, Joan, how are you? Hey, Smokin'.
Kids on top of the train, they go in between the cars and they jump on top of the train.
According to police, at least 3 people have died in New York City this year alone from subway surfing.
Just even going in between the train cars is dangerous, but being on top of one is even crazier.
Deja says she went to police today with the video, but there wasn't much they could do a day later. If you see people riding on top of the train, you are urged to contact police right away. In Bushwick, Karina Gary, News 12 Brooklyn.
Okay. And I had meant to go, this is what I had meant to do prior. So in the one newspaper article we read, they had talked about the Ride Inside, Stay Alive campaign. And I was able to find that on New York City website. So keeping kids safe in our subways. Under a new partnership with the state and MTA, New York City is rolling out an initiative to spread word about the dangers of subway surfing. So what we've done, our new Subway Surfing Kills, Ride Inside, Stay Alive campaign is a targeted response to the increase in subway surfing incidents that have claimed the lives of several youth in our city. This dangerous trend has been spreading due to more youth catching wind of it on social media. We are now working with state partners, the MTA, and youth themselves to raise awareness and help. And help prevent the next deadly incident on our subways. Fast facts. This new campaign was crafted with help from the New York City Department of Education, the NYPD, and the New York City Department of Youth and Community Development. Many of the graphics, animations, posters, and banners we'll be posting around the city were created by students themselves. The goal is to use social media to have a reverse effect on the viral subway surfing messages that have been spreading. We are also working with Google to help spread the messaging on YouTube. NYPD officers will do their part by standing watch on outdoor elevated lines and conducting home visits with youth who have been seen riding outside of trains. Since 2023, the city has recorded 5 fatalities due to suspected subway surfing. That's compared to 5 total fatalities that were reported between 2018 and 2022. And so far this year, there have been 5 fatalities. And why it matters, subway surfing is irresponsible, dangerous, and deadly. We are working hard to combat the negative influence of social media by working with teens themselves to spread the word to their own peers. We believe this is one of the best ways we can make our own messaging spread across our city and help keep New Yorkers safe. Each subway surfing death tragically strips away the lives and promising futures of our youth, and we cannot allow this trend to continue. And then it just has, some different links about public safety. And that actually is a good segue. So I'm going to kind of go. Oh, actually, we're going to have, so there's 2 last videos I have, and then we'll look at, I have that article from the New York Times. This is the video that kind of made me motion sick. It actually is a TikTok video that someone recorded of them subway surfing. So if you have, if you get vertigo or you have motion issues, I would not watch this because it's a bit dizzying, so to speak. Hey, Georgia Peach, how are you? Long time no see. Yeah, imagine how many are really doing it. Yeah, and it seems like, I had said about these 2 girls, like how long had they been there before they were found? It seems like, and even some of the other stories, like many of them, now that they know that New York City drones are flying above, they're doing it at night where they're not seen, which I think adds a whole new level of danger because you can't see what's coming, ahead of you. Agreed, Joan. At least they're aware and trying to stop it. I agree. All right. So again, motion, motion warning. And I forgot to put my banner back up. All right. Not that we really needed viewer discretion, but we'll just do that anyways.
Natalie, this is new at 4. There's troubling news.
And this video, I think, was from 2022. So it's a little bit older, but it kind of gave, what this is like.
The video showing several people standing, even dancing on top of a moving subway train in Brooklyn. These subway surfers took the video of themselves and posted it on TikTok, and now the NYPD is looking at them closely. News 4's Rana Novini on the Lower East Side now. Rana.
Yeah, and David, in that video, you clearly see that group of people standing on top of the subway as it traveled over the Williamsburg Bridge here behind me. A dangerous stunt that's now caught the attention of the NYPD. The video shared on TikTok shows a first-hand view. 8 people out for a joyride on top of subway cars as it traveled over the Williamsburg Bridge. The group appears to be happy.
Hell no. Hell no. No way. I mean, the girl that's sitting, okay, I get it. But what if you go to get down and you end up falling between the cars? Not cool. But the ones that are dancing and like doing this crazy stuff, no way.
Having the time of their lives. But now police are looking for them.
No way.
What's your reaction to this?
Crazy.
We showed the video to commuters who say while the video is alarming, it doesn't surprise them.
The other day when I was taking the train, I did hear the conductor say, "Get off the back of the platform. Young man in the back, get off the back."
People don't realize how dangerous that stuff can be, and there's this weird culture of trying to outdo people and do these outlandish things lately.
Police say the group was riding on top of a northbound J train Saturday evening as it came over the Williamsburg Bridge, and it's not the first time they've investigated.
That kid doing his break dancing, whatever he's doing, one wrong move and you're done, buddy. And like you guys are saying, hell to the no. Hell no.
Investigated so-called subway surfing incidents. In 2015, 3 kids were busted riding the back of an Uptown Express train. And in 2019, a man with a history of crimes on the subway was caught riding the outside of a 5 train in Brooklyn. More recently, a 32.
I mean, riding on the outside, that's a little bit, it's obviously not safe, but at least they're standing on the train itself, not on the roof. And especially with these elevated trains, that's a really,
Year-old man died after falling off of a J train, the same train as this latest incident.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Put rails on top of the subway? It's not going to work.
Some commuters tell us they're more concerned about other recent violent crimes on the subway, and this doesn't bother them.
Subways have been feeling very unsafe lately, and definitely that's more my concern than a couple of kids standing on top of the subway having fun.
And the MTA tells me it is aware of the incident and that it's now a police matter. The NYPD says that it's investigating, and the people who rode on top of the train could face reckless endangerment charges. Reporting live on the Lower East Side, Rana Novini, News 4 New York.
And I found it interesting that one man had said he's more worried about crime on the subway, not kids riding on top of the subway, which I guess, crime on the subway, I feel like, you're more affected by it. Whereas the kids riding on top of the subway, they're only putting themselves in danger. Well, I guess they could put the rest of the riders in danger too if the train has to stop. But I did find, so the woman yelling, I wanted to look it up. It must have been, I did find it. The Daily Mail has it. So they must have gotten it from TikTok. I'm going to share this because this woman, kudos to her. She was a mom for sure. So here's the woman. She ends up opening the door and she starts shouting, and there is profanity. And so here's some person on top of this train.
Oh my God. I'm about to curse them the out. No, listen. Leave them. Are you crazy? They're coming from school. They know better. Get your mother down. I'm not. Get your down. Oh, right. Get your down. This bad little boy. I'm gonna break his.
Oh, what is this next one? Let's see what this, I don't know what this one is. Oh, subway surfer clings to the outside of speeding train in New York City. Okay, so I'm gonna do a motion warning again. What the hell?
This man is a gangster, dog. Yo, this man is a gangster.
He's on the outside of the car.
Man is a gangster, dog. What's Scotty? Yo.
Like, what? What? What's this one? Oh my god. What the hell? People are... No. I mean, what? For a free ride, you're gonna hold on to the back of a train?
He's canine.
No. No. No way. No way. All right. Yeah, idiot. Yeah, no one wants to start a day with an unalive body. Yeah. So as I was looking through, trying to find different videos, this one came up where this teen lost his friend to subway surfing. And so he goes around and talks to young kids. He shares his story. He shares the video. So this video that we are going to see was a video that this kid took subway surfing. And this is in a tunnel, which I feel like, the open air ones maybe are a little bit, quote, safer. But to subway surf inside a tunnel, like, I just feel like that in itself is a death wish for sure. Evil Queen says, I keep laughing. I'm not right. I mean, how can you not laugh? These people, like, how stupid. And that's why my title of this live was Stupid or Brave. Like, it's stupid. I mean, there's got to be another way to get an adrenaline rush than to ride on top of a subway car. I don't know. All right, so another motion warning for those of you who may have motion related issues.
A Manhattan teenager is channeling his pain into art after his friend died from subway surfing. And the teen says by showing the videos and the photos of his friend that he took underground, he's sending a message about tragic consequences.
The exhibit is now on display at the Oculus in Lower Manhattan. CBS 2's Allie Bauman reports.
So it says, I have no idea. Last time I saw him was yesterday in the morning, but he went home. So that must be a text that he sent someone.
This is what Cassie Laureano saw before he died last summer. The 17-year-old was subway surfing on top of the 7 train when he fell onto the tracks near Hudson Yards.
I mean, I knew he did it, but I just didn't really think about how dangerous it was and how hurt he could have gotten doing it. I just didn't really process it in that way.
After his friend passed, 16-year-old Alexander Antelman gathered all the underground photos and videos Laureano had taken and put them with the frantic text messages his mother sent in the hours.
Yo, K-bro, please let me know if you're good. What the hell? What is this vid? What? I did not mean to pause it there, but this kid is standing on top of, I don't even know what that is, but no, hell no. Hell no.
Before his body was found.
I think that people do these things without really thinking what their actions can lead to. Imagine your mom's watching you train surf, how she would feel.
The video is now displayed at NYC Culture Club in the Oculus, steps from the subway.
a teen telling other teens this isn't something you want to do.
The NYPD just started tracking subway surfing this year. In that time, 4 kids between 14 and 16 years old have died that way in the city.
The NYPD is fully engaged in efforts to end this dangerous trend, to protect participants who are not thinking of the tragic consequences and devastation associated with it.
Friday, the NYPD released a new PSA.
One 14-year-old was killed and another seriously injured.
And urged parents to talk to their kids about the trend.
I think messages from, outside entities, whether it's a public service announcement or a public official, when you're a teenager, it doesn't really have an impact. It doesn't have resonance. But if your friend, your buddy is telling you something, you're going to listen.
The photos Laureano left are beautiful, but how he got them leave a grisly scar.
Because I think they just play around with their lives and think they're having fun, but they don't realize that they could actually die doing these things, and they don't process what death really is and how it affects the people around them.
From Tribeca, Ali Bauman, CBS 2 News.
Jeez. I mean, I'm glad that he's doing something productive with what happened to his friend, but no way. No way. So I did find, before we get to the New York Times, I just looked to see if there was any updates, and there aren't any updates, but I did find this one article says, as of June, so this past June, New York State officials said over 1,800 videos of subway surfing were taken down from social media. Over 1,800. Okay. And I was wondering if they had any updates on the 2 girls that had been found deceased, but it seems like their names have not been released. Let's see. They were 12 and 13 years old. So this is from today, from this morning, actually, from New York, NBC4. New York City kids keep dying while subway surfing. After 2 more, calls to action rise. 2 young girls, just 12 and 13, were found dead on top of a train over the weekend in what authorities say appears to have been a game of subway surfing. Their deaths are among an increasing number of kids losing their lives in the same way. And one thing I didn't see, when I was looking up things before this live, I didn't see anything about other states. Like that if this is happening in, like DC, they had mentioned in one of the, the Google, obviously a lot of cities don't have subways, but what about trains or, other transportation? Jeez. So it says, Kavan Wooden loved trains. The 15-year-old had an encyclopedic knowledge of the subway system and dreamed of becoming a train operator. Instead, on a December morning in 2022, Kavan died after he climbed to the roof of a moving J train in Brooklyn and then fell onto the tracks as it headed onto the Williamsburg Bridge. He is one of more than a dozen New Yorkers, many young boys, in the most recent case, young girls, who have been killed or badly injured after falling off speeding trains. Other risks include being crushed between the train and tunnel walls and being electrocuted by high-voltage subway tracks. Subway surfing dates back a century, but it has been fueled by social media. Oh, you're welcome, Joan. I hadn't heard much about it either until I saw this story yesterday. Early Saturday morning, New York City police found 2 girls dead, ages 12 and 13, in what apparently was a subway surfing game that turned fatal, authorities said. MTA President Demetrius Critchlow said in a statement that Getting on top of a subway car isn't surfing, it's suicide. Authorities have tried to address the problem with public awareness campaigns, including a new one featuring Grammy Award-winning rapper Cardi B, and by deploying drones to catch thrill seekers in the act. But for some, a more fundamental question is not being addressed. Why are kids like Kavan able to climb on top of subway cars in the first place? When Kavan died, literally 2 weeks later, another child died, and another one. That makes no sense. His mother, Yvonda Maxwell, told the Associated Press, saying transit and law enforcement officials haven't done enough. Why should my child have not been the end? MTA says it is studying the issue. Making trains harder to climb and train surfers more easy to detect with cameras and sensors could be part of the solution. The MTA, which operates the subway system, has said it is studying the issue, but it has yet to report any broad new rollout of technology or physical barriers that might make it harder for people to get on top of trains. In June, Critchlow told a news conference to introduce a new public awareness campaign that the MTA was experimenting with pieces of circular rubber tubing designed to prevent a person from being able to climb between two cars to the top of a train. It was being piloted in between two cars to make sure it would fit into the tight spacing of the tunnels and that it wouldn't break down or harm service or riders. So far, the equipment seems to be holding up. Six people died surfing subway trains in the city last year, up from 5 in 2023. Taisha Alcock, the MTA worker who operated the train Kavan rode the day he died, is among those who thinks more should be done to prevent deaths. The first sign of trouble that day was when the train's emergency brake kicked in. Alcock discovered Kavan's body between the train's 7th and 8th cars. A group of sad-faced teens on the train made it clear what had happened. "Did y'all leave your friend back there?" she asked them. Alcock said another operator traveling in the opposite direction saw Kavan on the train's roof and reported it over the radio. Because of patchy radio service, she said, she didn't get the warning. But she thinks an even simpler solution could have saved Kavan's life: locking the doors at the ends of subway cars. And I wondered that, like that woman who she just opened the door and started yelling at those kids to get down. Like, how are people just able to open those doors? And, you know, I mean, that seems like a pretty easy solution. That would cut off access to the narrow gaps between train cars where subway surfers use handholds to hoist themselves onto the roof. Lock it when we're in service so people can't climb up and be on top of the train. The MTA's leaders have said that they're looking into possible ways to prevent subway surfing, including engineering solutions, but the agency declined to make any of its safety experts available for an interview. In 2023, Richard Davey, then the head of buses and subways for the MTA, said officials were weighing the option of locking doors between cars, which is now done only on a handful of the 1980s era trains. But he said that locking doors brings its own risk. Some New Yorkers have complained that locking the passageways between train cars might prevent them from escaping to another part of the train during an emergency. Under questioning from city council members and reporters last year, MTA officials ruled out some other physical interventions, including building more barriers to prevent access to tracks or putting covers over the gaps between train cars to prevent would-be surfers from climbing up. Listen, you have to be able to do work on top of a train car, MTA CEO Jano Lieber said at a news conference, adding that you can't cover it with barbed wire. I think that's a little extreme, like putting barbed wire over. Yeah, I mean, that's just ridiculous. The MTA has requested that social media companies remove videos that glamorize subway surfing and reported in June that as of 2025, more than 1,800 such videos had been taken down. It's also promoted public service announcements telling people to ride inside, stay alive, in voices of local teens, and with the city's schools, released a comic book themed campaign this past summer designed to show the dangers of subway surfing and impact on loved ones. More than 300,000 New York City school children use the subway to get to and from school each day. The NYPD reported that arrests of alleged subway surfers rose to 229 last year, up from 135 the year before. Most were boys with an average age of around 14, according to police. The youngest was 9 years old. 9 years old! Like, what? Oh, locked hatch, maybe? Oh, Ocean Tide, yeah. Maybe line the top with sensors that activate a blaring alarm. Branislav Dmitrijevic, an engineering professor of the New Jersey Institute of Technology, said retrofitting trains to prevent roof access would be expensive. There's so many stories in transportation where things can be fixed, but they cost a lot of money. And then you ask the public, are you willing to pay for us to fix this? But your taxes would go up tremendously. And people say no. Dmitrijevic suggested that MTA might be able to install cameras and use artificial intelligence to detect riders trying to climb a train. Andrew Elbert, a non-voting member of the MTA board, said he has been asking the agency about the plausibility of physical sensors, but hasn't gotten a response. The NYPD has patrolled popular subway surfing routes with field response teams and drones, reporting in July that it had used them to make 200 rescues, mostly of teens. But the missions can't be everywhere at once. They also say they make home visits to the homes of subway surfers they've identified. Trains in some other cities, such as Hong Kong and Dubai, aren't easily climbable. They have streamlined bodies, lack handles on the outside, and don't open between cars. Some rail systems have resorted to extreme tactics to keep people from riding on top of the trains. In Indonesia, railway officials once installed hanging metal flails to try and deter passengers from riding atop train cars to avoid overcrowding. They also tried spraying riders with red paint and hitting them with brooms. Well, that seems interesting. I don't know about hitting people with brooms and spraying them, with red paint, but the MTA purchased a few new subway cars that don't have the outdoor gaps exploited by subway surfers, but they represent just a sliver of the number currently in service and won't be deployed on lines popular for surfing anytime soon. A subheading in the story has been corrected to show that there were 6 deaths last year, not this year. Still, too many. Too many. Okay. So I have one last article that I wanted to read. And that is from the New York Times. And then if we kind of, we'll see where it goes. If there's other things, questions that people have, let me know and we can Google or search for them. So New York Times, this was from, what date was this? 2024. So about a year ago. Hey, Green, how are you? Excuse me. Just get a drink. Talking too much. So the deadly lure of subway surfing. For more than a century, people have climbed on top of moving trains in search of a thrill. Now social media has attracted a new generation of daredevils. Oh, Nanny, is that new? About the collapsed school? I'll have to look at that at the end of the live stream or when we're done with this. On a late spring afternoon, two boys celebrating the last day of 6th grade set out through their New York City neighborhood in search of an adventure. It arrived in the form of a subway train screeching into the Church Avenue station in Brooklyn. The boys, Donald Munoz and William Layden, hoisted themselves onto the roof of one of the cars and were soon careening north, the warm air whipping across their faces. But their escapade was brief. Near the next station, they clipped an overpass and were flung onto the tracks. The impact fractured both boys' skulls, and Donald died that day. He was 11 years old. William, 12, was taken to Kings County Hospital unconscious. The year was 1938, but it could have been any year. Recent news reports typically trace the reckless act of riding atop a train car in New York City, known as subway surfing, back to the 1980s and blame sensational videos on social media taken by bystanders and the surfers themselves for a recent rise in popularity. But accounts of subway surfing incidents can be found from the earliest days of the city's transit system more than a century ago and have an eerie familiarity. These urban daredevils, then and now, share a common impulse, experts said, to seek out a jolt of adrenaline, a buzz, with whatever limited options might be available to them. Since God made the subways, said Al O'Leary, a former chief spokesman for the MTA, people have been doing stupid things on them. Gotcha, Nanny. Yep, okay. In recent years, for reasons that vex public officials, subway surfing has grown increasingly deadly. 6 people have died attempting it this year. 5 died in 2023, following the 5 in total who died from 2018 through 2022. The drumbeat of senseless tragedy has led city officials and concerned observers to wonder whether anything can be done. And I'm curious, so they're talking a lot about the people who have died from doing this, but how many people have been severely injured in doing this? Because I'm sure those numbers are much higher. The angst is not new. In 1996, after the death of a 14-year-old boy, Rudy Giuliani, then the mayor of New York, delivered a grim assessment. There is no way that you can protect a child who decides to surf on the top of a subway car. By most indications, he appears to have been right. We should try this. The thought process that steers a person to the roof of a speeding train can seem implausibly simple. It felt that way for Justin, an 18-year-old from the Bronx, who learned of subway surfing in 2021 from a YouTube video. This prompted a rather straightforward conversation with a friend. I was like, yo, we should try this, said Justin, who asked that his surname be withheld to speak freely about an illegal activity. And he was like, bet. So we tried it. After school one day that September, the boys ascended the stairs at the 167th Street station in the Bronx, entered the train at the middle of the platform, slipped out a back door of the car, and climbed onto the roof. Their nonchalance evaporated. My heart was beating, Justin said. The wind was blowing in my face. The train was shaking. I thought we were going to get blown away. The boys rode one stop before scrambling off at 161st Street. Back on firm ground, Justin noticed his hands were trembling. The rush, he said, was intoxicating. In the months that followed, he surfed more times than you could count, seeking out new sections of the system to ride, growing confident enough to run and jump atop the trains as they sped through the city. While the nature of train surfing, illicit, mostly furtive, can make practitioners difficult to track, subway workers describe a system essentially teeming with them. Omar Velez, a train operator who has worked for the MTA for more than 3 decades, said he hears reports of subway surfers every day that he works on the 7 line, most commonly just before and after school. The MTA does not specifically tally subway surfing incidents. It reported that 2,556 people rode, quote, outside of train cars this year through September, but the vast majority of those cases, officials said, occurred between cars, not on top of them. In 2019, in comparison, there were 490. That's still a lot of people riding outside of train cars. KDP says, I wonder if spike strips on the top would be possible. Possible. I'm guessing because they said like with maintenance that might not be what's the word? Ideal. But I mean there's got to be something. The prominence of subway surfing then tends to be computed in the most macrobay oh my gosh, I can't even speak. Macrobay of ways. I think I still said that wrong. Fatalities. This year, the ages of the dead were 11, 13, 13, 13, 14, and 15. They died riding atop the A, F, G, M, 6, and 7 trains. Their accidents occurred in Brooklyn, the Bronx, and Queens. Oh, that's a memorial to Kevon Wooden. All these children are brown or black, and nobody cares ever, said Yvonne Maxwell, the mother of Kevon Wooden, who died after falling from a J train last December. I have seen this happen since the 80s. I am sick of it. I want the MTA to do something about it. Max Sugarman lives in a third-floor apartment in Long Island City, Queens, that looks directly onto the tracks of the 7 line, so close that he frequently makes eye contact with surfers, and has noticed increasingly larger groups atop the train, often with someone acting as a videographer. And they're getting bolder, they're jumping, they're sprinting. The constant filming and sharing of subway surfing videos on social media is a distinctly contemporary problem, and one official say that has contributed greatly to the recent surge in deaths. But the heedless bravado of these daredevils long predates the digital age. In 1923, 3 boys from the Upper East Side, ages 9, 10, and 11, were caught by the police while riding on top of a train on the now defunct 2nd Avenue elevated line. According to the Brooklyn Eagle, when informed that they would have been crushed at the next station, the 11-year-old Owen Carroll merely shrugged. It's all in the game, he said. On the afternoon of Halloween this year, a police officer named Nicholas Nolan was perched on the rooftop of PS 11 in Woodside, Queens, gripping a device that looked like a portable video game system to implement the city's latest defense against an intractable problem. Interesting. In the sky above him fluttered one of the 3 drones the department has used since October 2023 to catch surfers in the act. The program identified 114 offenders in its first year, the youngest of whom, according to Mayor Eric Adams, was 9 years old. Time will tell whether the program achieves lasting results or falls frustratingly short, like many of the city's other initiatives. In recent years, officials have unveiled a Ride Inside, Stay Alive public information campaign in subways and schools and have positioned more police officers around hotspot stations. Transit leaders have also tried to persuade social media companies to remove thousands of videos of people surfing the subway, though many remain easy to find. You know what? Let me go to YouTube quick because TikTok gave me that warning and I couldn't get to any videos. Let's just see. Subway. I'm just going to look up subway surfing. Subway surfing. Okay, so I'm just seeing news articles, shorts of people videoing people. Oh, hold up. Okay, this is insane. I'm going to show y'all this. I was just looking through, but let's just take a break from reading. So this was from 2 months ago. So this is July. So this is of some, so it says subway surfer spotted on a train in New York. Oh, well, he was sitting down. No way. That is craziness. Absolute craziness. Oh no, am I not sharing this? Have I not been sharing the article that I was reading, or did I hit something? Oh my gosh, Emmy. Did you see the article? I think I wasn't even sharing the article that I was reading. Oh my gosh. All right, let me start this over. Ugh. Well, at least it wasn't a video or anything that I was reading. At least you were, I was, whatever. There we go. Now it's going. So this was in Queens, it says, on July 10th. I mean, it is a good way to get, views of the city, but no way. All right, I don't know what's going on with this. All right, so let me share this article that I was reading, and oops. But one thing I don't see, like I see other people talking about subway surfing, but I don't see any videos on YouTube of people actually doing it. So I guess there is some level of not allowing those types of videos. Oh, here's a story from 3 months ago. It says NYPD working to combat subway surfers as another teen is injured. All right, let's go back to YouTube for a minute. I mean, there's a ton of stuff on this. I'm surprised I haven't seen it sooner.
Just dangerous. It's deadly.
And that is the message the MTA is sending to anybody considering putting their lives on the line, especially this summer. The message comes as a 14-year-old continues to fight for his life after he fell from a train in the Bronx yesterday.
The agency has been pushing to stop teens from trying this stunt, and
What
it appears the message is getting through.
I mean, kudos to that person for having great balance, but that is idiotic.
Deaths and arrests both down from this point last year.
Okay, so, and this was from 2 months ago, I think it said. So there were 6 deaths in 2024, 2 in 2025 as of then, but now there have now been 5. Arrests, 88 in 2024, 79 in 2025, but I'm sure that it's going to exceed 88 for this year.
But still, 1 death is too many.
Eyewitness News reporter Shantae Lance live in Long Island City with the latest push. Shantae.
Mike and Sade, I met with the NYPD transit chief who says this line number 7 is the most deadly for subway surfers, which is why they're keeping a close watch on it. The drones are up.
The drones have been a game changer for us. We fly them every day.
The NYPD is searching for subway surfers. These dangerous and deadly stunts were previously caught on camera across New York City.
I think it's very dangerous and kids should not do it.
But today,
and it makes you wonder, like, most kids, I feel like all kids should know that riding on top of a train, a speeding train, is not smart. And I would like to know, like, for those that are doing it, like, just have some reporter or someone go out and ask them, like, why did you do it? I would be curious as to what their answers were. Was it because they want to be an influencer on TikTok? Was it because they wanted an adrenaline rush? Was it because they felt pressure to by one of their friends? Like, why did they do this knowing that they could die?
14-year-old boy is fighting for his life after he was critically injured while subway surfing near the Baychester station in the Bronx.
That's terrible. I wish people would stop.
It's not just a matter of, us losing them. Is when they fall off, we're changing a 14-year-old's life forever.
NYPD Transit Chief Joseph Galata says the injured 14-year-old is one of 62 repeat offenders.
He was stopped on this.
Not sharing? It should be sharing. I see it on my phone. I'm just going to wait a minute to see. Hey, KDP, how are you? I just want to make sure that people can see it because I can see it on my phone. Okay, you can see it. Okay, so Pookie, you might be behind, but you're not going to hear me say you're behind. Let me send Pookie a message. Okay.
Line in the past, and yesterday he was in another borough.
Chief Galata says the 7 line in Long Island City is the deadliest for subway surfing.
The 7 line, that's like ground zero for this. This is where, if you ever saw Spider-Man,
oh no,
Homebound, it's
oh, and there's those steel barriers. They said that is what that one kid that we read about, he ended up hitting one of like the metal barriers, and that's what threw him off.
The last scene is him riding the 7 train with the city skyline behind there. As you ride the 7 line, that's pretty much like the most iconic place to do it, and that's where most people want to come and do it.
The transit chief says the majority of the deaths happened when the surfers fall in between the subway cars.
Oh.
It's really bad. God, I don't think anyone should really do that. Real talk, stay inside the trains. It's real dangerous out there.
He says 2 people have died from subway surfing so far.
That's interesting that it's from them falling in between the cars, not necessarily off the cars.
Far this year, which is down after a total of 6 people died last year. So far this year, police have made 79 arrests.
You're not only hurting yourself, you're hurting everyone around you. Your parents, your grandparents, all your family's going to be devastated.
Oh my God, look at all of them. Holy crap. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Your family's going to be devastated.
11, 12, 13, 14. 14 people on top of that train.
Just based off what happens. So it's not worth it.
NYPD says that 14-year-old was last listed in critical but stable condition. His 17-year-old friend, who was also subway surfing, was caught, arrested, and charged with reckless endangerment along with trespassing. A third friend ran away. Live in Long Island City, Shantae Lands, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
That's true. Trespassing.
Have you ever heard?
Oh, when is this one from? Let's see. Oh, 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago, there was CBS Mornings had a video. This is like eye-opening to me. Let's take a look at this one. I still have a little bit of time. And then we'll get back to the New York Times article.
Heard of the popular app called Subway Surfers. It's a game where players have to run and jump on top of and out of the way of some fast-moving trains.
There's an app called that? Hold on. Subway Surfers. Oh my, it is. It's an app game. Let me see if there's a video of it. Okay, so I'm just going to show a part of this video. This is from I Has Cupquake. 7.12 million subscribers. Holy crud. Subway Surfers is a free app. All right, let's just see.
So that gives you an incentive to play. And oh no! Dang it! You also have an incentive to play and beat your friend's scores. I think too.
So you're running
your score
from
can also be
police.
determined by sharing it with multiple people.
Okay, well, that one's not really on top of the subway, though. Now they're running in the subway. So they're saying they think this game is what's causing...
Those big jumpy shoes. It's a jump! Oh my god, I jumped too high. Oh my gosh, okay.
Wow.
That's too high for me.
Okay.
I can't get back on the train now.
Oh boy. Well, that was quite the pause, wasn't it? All right. I just wanted to see... and that video had 1.2 million views. Apparently, I'm doing it all wrong on YouTube. I need to start becoming a gamer. So that is from I Has Cupquake. Let me get her actual... I'll share her link in the...
Minecraft is one of mommy's favorite games, and I'm going to teach...
Pause. Okay. So let's go back over here. So that is what they're thinking, that this app has something to do with it. Very true, Marie. They don't think of the first responders either. I know a cop who had to pick... Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And those transit workers who found those two girls deceased on top of the train. I mean, it's awful.
It's also something you may have seen in the movies. You know, you think of big action actors, but you might not know that it's also a very real thing and very dangerous. It's a stunt that some kids do. By the way, of course, it's illegal, it's dangerous, and it can and has been deadly. It has become a rising problem for the New York City Police Department, and they're now taking to the sky to try to stop this tragic trend. Anna Schechter, our senior coordinating producer for CBS News' Crime and Public Safety Unit, got a behind-the-scenes look and joins us now. Anna, this is...
The iconic New York City subway system is known as the heartbeat of the city, connecting the dots for millions of riders each day. But running such a massive system comes with major security issues.
Every week we're seeing subway surfers when they're out there. And more importantly, we know they're out there surfing because the public's calling us. We're getting 911 calls saying, hey, there's people on top of the train.
In the last 3 years, there have been 16 deaths and 20 people severely injured.
Okay, so that's what I was curious about, the injuries. So there were 16 deaths since 2022, 20 severely injured. Maybe have some of those who have been injured subway surfing go into schools and talk to these kids and tell them, like, this is what can happen.
That's according to the New York City Police Department. And the people doing this are young, with an average age of just 14 years old.
Our youngest death was 11, and that's really frightening when you think of an 11-year-old
11-year-old
who passed away from doing this, riding the top of a subway.
Now the NYPD is using a bird's eye view to help address the issue.
So this is the drone that the NYPD, the New York City Police Department, is using to fly up over these subway cars to make sure that nobody has climbed up and is riding on top.
We look at the data, we look at the 911 calls, we see what's going on. Each week, each Monday, we come up with a deployment plan, and then we send our teams out there and we make sure we save lives.
These drone operations have rescued over 200 people since 2022. And the department refers to each subway surfing arrest as, quote, a life saved.
What is your message to parents who are watching right now?
As a New York City parent whose son took the subway back and forth to school, know what your children are doing.
Anna Schechter joins us now. I mean, Anna, we were just talking about this in the break before this segment, how, you know, growing up in New York, you take the train to high school. Kids are out on in the subway system all the time. And now this is something that more and more people are doing. What do the trends and the numbers show?
Well, they've seen an increase in the last 3 years, and they think maybe social media or that Spider-Man movie scene might be contributing to it. Kids think it's really cool, and they don't realize the danger.
The Spider-Man movie scene? I mean, I don't know about that. I think that's going a little too far, but Oh no, I get it, Marie. Responders are aware of the possibilities of the calls they may receive. They are heroes, often without praise. We should never harm others with our actions. I agree. And just, the trauma and seeing some of these things, I could never do it.
Even though there are messages in the subway system now, don't do this, but every week the New York City Police Department is seeing this. And it's not just New York City, Chicago, DC. A 15-year-old died last year in San Francisco on the BART system.
Jeez. So how effective is the police effort to monitor it and get the kids off?
Well, they say it's extremely effective because they've used these drones, and 911 calls in as well contribute to them detecting this. And they can actually immediately call the MTA to slow down that train and stop the train. But still this year, you've had injuries, you've had deaths already this year.
So that's how they rescue the kids. They spot them on the drone and then have the train stop essentially or slow down. Is that typically what happens?
Yeah, they slow down the train and then they stop the train at the station. They have the NYPD officers waiting there to get the kids down.
Wow.
Huh. I mean, that's the way to do it. Stop the train, have them the police waiting for them.
Sometimes they've been able to go inside the car, but they retrieve the kids and then they do a home visit. They go, they talk to the parents, and a lot of times these are good kids. They're getting good grades, they're going to school, and their parents are like, no, that's not my kid. And then they show the parents these drone videos. So they say the drone videos are so important for the parents. Right. And then, you know your kid, their gait, and they're like, oh my God, that's my kid. And then the parents are immediately on the side of the police.
And so how effective is this at stopping kids from doing this again?
Well,
that was my question. Are there any repeat offenders? Are there kids who have been caught more than once doing this, even after a home visit and being spoken to by police?
Unfortunately, not effective enough. Already this year, there have been more than 20 repeat offenders. So they'll do it once, get
20 repeat offenders. Wow.
Caught and then do it again. So that's why the NYPD, they really want to get the word out for parents to talk to your kids, explain how dangerous this is.
I can't think of any worse way to die than being crushed by a rusty, old, dirty subway car. And that's what these kids are risking by being on top of them.
That's right.
Really awful. Glad this is a program to try to stop it. Anna Schechter, thank you very much. That was today's By the Way.
Old, rusty subway car. Okay, so let's go back to the New York Times article and then we will wrap this up. Okay, I think this is where I think this is where I stopped. Yep. So New York must contend with some hard truths. Physical alterations like open gangway cars and platform barriers would be likely to deter would-be offenders, but the city's subway system is old and immense, with 472 stations and 665 miles of track, making wholesale structural solutions onerous and unlikely. There is also some question of whether conspicuous messaging campaigns have the desired effect. Mr. O'Leary recalled some hand-wringing decades ago at the MTA, with some staff members wondering if they were merely popularizing the stunt and giving impudent teenagers more rules to defy. That rebellious spirit officials have found can be hard to curb. On the rooftop, Mr. Nolan explained that some teenagers had been adapting to the new surveillance, changing clothes, for instance, to create confusion when the drones spot them. Wow. Clever. We're flying behind them and they're giving us the finger. Sometimes they wave. So far, the drone program has not stemmed the tide of deaths. Still, Kaz Daughtry, who oversees the program as Deputy Commissioner of Operations for the police, expressed confidence in its prospects and said there were other innovative ideas floating around with the MTA. When asked for specifics, he declined to elaborate. I'm pretty confident that we are going to come up with some sort of solution to fix this. And then we'll probably move on to something else when the kids find something else to do. His quip seemed to touch on one plainly vexing aspect of this predicament, that it was propelled to some extent by the urban NUI. I've never seen that word before. ENNUI. Oh, and I'm not sharing again. Good grief, Emmy. Get it together. Is it NUI? Ennui. So it's pronounced, or ennui. Ennui. So ennui is a feeling of listlessness and dissatisfaction arising from a lack of occupation or excitement. Example, he succumbed to ennui and despair. I have never seen that word before. Go New York Times. Hey, Casey, how are ya? See ya, Angie. Have a good one yourself. Ennui. Cool word. So, to some extent, by the urban ennui experienced by bored, mischievous, and often disadvantaged young people. Most of these kids are not bad, said Jana Lieber, chief executive of the MTA. These are not kids who are necessarily involved in criminal activity. They're just doing something that is incredibly dangerous and reckless. Kenneth Carter, a psychologist at Emory who studies thrill-seeking behavior, said firsthand accounts of subway surfers suggested they may be wired to chase the same buzz as people who participate in more socially acceptable forms of daredevilry, like skydiving or race car driving. But those activities can be prohibitively expensive. They feel like a lot of people think they have a death wish, but universally they say no. They feel closer to life when they do this. They chase things that give them that sense of awe. Joe Lucenti, 45, who subway surfed regularly while growing up in the 1990s graffiti scene in Brooklyn, concurred. An adrenaline junkie, Mr. Lucenti said bungee jumping, skydiving, and scuba diving fell short of the high he felt on the train. When you're on the train and it's 5:30 and the sun is coming over the skyline and the wind is coursing over you, it just feels incredible. After a couple of years and hundreds of illicit rides, Justin's zeal for subway surfing would begin to cool. But first, he got caught. One afternoon, while surfing on the J line, Justin's train screeched to a halt. It was the police. He slipped down and sprinted along the track to the next platform, but more officers were there to tackle him. His parents picked him up from the local precinct. Mr. Daughtry said 4 or 5 surfers were similarly caught each week by the police. While the police typically prosecute adults who subway surf on charges of reckless endangerment, criminal charges are not filed against teenagers under 16. Police reports are made for each incident, but they do little to deter children from the practice, and repeat offenders are common. Such recidivist behavior is why Michael, 20, a trained surfer who quit recently after seeing acquaintances get hurt, and who also asked for his surname to be withheld, said more dramatic messaging was required. Forget the announcements. They need to start showing the dead bodies of these kids and nail it into their brains that they couldn't or that they shouldn't do anything like this for TikTok clout. Justin developed his own second thoughts about surfing after a brush with catastrophe on the Williamsburg Bridge. He narrowly missed an overhanging beam near the spot where someone he knew was killed. More than anything, though, he grew bored with it. The act somehow had come to feel routine, and he declared himself done. His restraint proved fleeting. So at the tail end of a year in which anti-subway surfing messaging reverberated across the transit system, in which a fleet of drones was unleashed into the airspace above the 7 train, in which half a dozen adolescents needlessly succumbed to gruesome injuries, and a city continued to grapple with a swell of senseless, self-inflicted tragedies, Justin went out to subway surf again. I need to stop, he said. Well, there we have it. Hey, Gigi, how are ya? Hey, Andy. Ennui. Yeah, ennui. It's French. Makes sense. I had never seen that word before, but now I have. So, yeah, ennui. All right, y'all. Oh, what is going on with this? I don't want that big square. There we go. Evil Queen says, glad I grew up near the ocean and had horses. Playing basketball, volleyball. I loved active sports. Yeah, we did where I was. I mean, I don't know. We didn't really do much. There was all country, like farmland. I know like some of my friends would go cow tipping. I never did that. It's like, why? Leave the cows alone. Leave the cows alone. I don't know. I don't know. We kind of just hung around, I guess. Hung around like campfires. We would do, campfires a lot. And I mean, I was, like I said, like I didn't do very many dangerous things because I was, nope, not doing it. I'm not doing it. So that is all I have for us today. I did see that. Oh, and Nanny had asked about actually, before we go, let me look that up. I just remembered. Singapore school collapse. Okay, so, oh my, 9 hours ago. Let me see if there's one that's more recent than that. Here, 9 hours ago. Oh my goodness gracious. So death toll from Indonesian school collapse rises to 65. Search continues. And I think it was 90. Was it 95? It was 90 something when I first did this story that had been unaccounted for. So the death toll has risen to 65, but the search continues for others who have so it says using excavators, rescuers late on October 5th cleared 80% of the debris and found body parts of the mostly teenage victims. That is awful. Yeah, I know. The death toll from the collapse of a school in Indonesia last week has climbed to 65 people as rescuers have cleared nearly all of the debris, authorities said on October 6th, while rescuers continue to search for survivors under the rubble 7 days after the disaster. Piles of concrete caved in on hundreds of mostly teenage boys on September 30th after the collapse of the Al Kazini school in the Indonesian town of Sidoarjo in East Java province, trapping and later killing them. Most managed to escape. Mr. Muhammad Sayafi, head of Indonesia's search and rescue agency, said more bodies and body parts had been found, raising the confirmed death toll to 65. It remained unclear how many people were still missing. Mr. Saifi told reporters the search operation would continue until rescuers were, quote, sure that no victims are left, end quote. Mr. Budi Irawan, a deputy at the Disaster Mitigation Agency, said a total of 50 people have died based on the bodies recovered, and rescuers were expected to finish their search by the end of October 6th for 13 more trapped victims. So then how do they have 65 if this guy is saying only 50? The number of victims is the biggest this year from one building, he told a press conference. Out of all the disasters in 2025, natural or not, there haven't been as many dead victims as the one in Sidoarjo. Mr. Yudi Bramantio, a search and rescue agency official, said at the same news conference that 5 other body parts were found, indicating that the death toll is likely to be at least 54. Rescuers are continuing their search with video footage by the search and rescue agency showing recovery workers carrying orange body bags out of the ruins of the school. The authorities have said the cause of the collapse was construction work on the upper floors that the school's foundations could not support. It is not immediately clear if Al-Kazini had a building permit. Reuters could not immediately contact school authorities for comment. That's really sad. 65. No other survivors. No, and they said they were still looking for survivors, but I mean, it's been September 30th. That was a week ago. I mean, I guess there could still be survivors, but I would say it's probably really, really low. The chances are low. I did see that Lorenz Krauss was in court today, so we will cover that tomorrow during my live, along with some other stories. Apparently, Mr. Krauss told the judge today that he is married. Say what? You're married? I haven't watched the clip yet, so I don't know what he's talking about. We'll watch it together tomorrow. But that should be interesting. And then there's some other stories that I had seen just to kind of, do like a mishmash tomorrow, unless I see another story like this where I think that, this is an important thing to talk about. Yeah, I guess that's all I got. That's all I got. So thanks everyone again for being here. I do appreciate it. If you have not hit that like button, please do so on your way out. If you are watching on the replay, #replay, leave a comment below. I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, morning, wherever you may be. As many of us know, the bee got her fifis hurt and struck Sinner again because she doesn't like the truth being told. So I will be redirecting you to his live. Honestly, I don't know what time it starts because I just copied and pasted the link into the redirect. So, Sinner, if you're here, let everybody know what time you are live. But you will be directed over to his live after my outro. So have a great rest of your night, morning, day, wherever you may be. And until next time, y'all, I will see you on the flip side.
You have one shot on stage, what you got to play? Generic drops for days, still the people rage. Am I not insane? Can you stop and explain why these drops are so lame? Is money buying you fame? I'm fucking on, I'm killing it with this song. You haters can sing along or go back where you belong. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with giving up, moving on. Cause I took your girl to prom, she can't help but sing this song. Till the roof comes off, till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth, till the smoke clears out, and my high progress. I'ma rip this shit till my bones collapse. Till the roof comes off, till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth, till the smoke clears out, and my high progress. I'ma rip this shit till my bones collapse. She's so on like a light switch, flirting back. There's nothing wrong with the way that she's working that. I just want that body bad, come on baby, bring it back. I'm so gone, faded off a 30 rack. She's so on like a light switch, flirting back. There's nothing wrong with the way that she's working that. I just want that body bad, come on baby, bring it back. I rap with a passion, yeah, I got it in me. I've been waiting quite a long time for y'all to hear me. It's about damn time you put some stock into me. You're either sponsoring me or fucking bothering me. And the fact is, we just practice on this madness. That is why our status is like a canvas. Chances our advancement is enhancing, and this new expansion's like a mansion. Comes off till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth, till the smoke clears out, and my high progress. I'ma rip this shit till my bones collapse. Till the roof comes off, till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth, till the smoke clears out, and my high progress. I'ma rip this shit till my bones collapse.